Okay, let's just say that no listening devices are found while the U.S. military is stripping down the airplane, and it gets all put back together, and it's got all its military gizmos on board. And then let's say somehow or another the plane gets put into service while Donald Trump is still in office, which I highly doubt, since Boeing is not expected to be done with their version until 2029. But anyway, let's just say that they somehow or another managed to do all the upgrades and reassembly and whatnot and put it into service. And then the president, whether or not it's Donald Trump or any other future U.S. president, is flying around the world somewhere, and the plane goes down. The president and everybody aboard dies in the plane crash of this plane that originally came from the Qatar government. A Boeing plane, nonetheless, but still a plane that had been in the possession of the Qatar government. It wouldn't matter if there was a back door installed on that plane that a man in the middle or Qatar themselves used to take down the plane, or not. If the plane goes down while in the service of the president, who gets the blame for the plane going down? We're going to say that we took the whole thing apart piece by piece and put it back together, and we didn't find any surveillance devices. Does that mean that Qatar is above reproach and cannot be blamed for the plane going down with the president aboard? Because do you think that all the conspiracy theorists in the world would just go, yeah, coincidences happen? I think I'd like to remind you of there supposedly were no weapons of mass destruction found in Iraq, but we bombed Iraq. Now, sitting here from my armchair, I can neither confirm nor deny that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq at the time that we bombed Iraq. But there, I could point out to you all the conspiracy people in the world would never let a plane from Qatar fly the president without saying that the president is sitting on a flying booby trap. And if it ever goes down, yeah, whose fault is that? Qatar? Boeing? The U.S. government themselves? Conspiracy theorists come up with all kind of crap. I mean, if you think that I'm inventing all this shit out of my head, okay. But I guarantee you, conspiracy people have come up with 100,000 times more shit than I could ever imagine. because I would like to represent that we have thousands of pictures of Earth from space, yet we have flat earthers saying that all those pictures are fake. CGI. And now we have conspiracy theorists in the cabinet. RFK is the head of the health department. Now we have a person saying that we should just do away with pasteurization in milk, and citing the benefits of raw milk. Fully 25% of poisoned food deaths were caused by raw milk before pasteurization was a thing. Do you think that's a conspiracy? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm just spouting what I was told? Somehow or another, the whole government is in on it, that they're lying to you about pasteurization? Or maybe you think germ theory is not real. RFK wanted to go back with the whole miasma theory of disease. That bad gases and bad water cause diseases. Not germs, not viruses, not bacteria. We have systematically killed viruses and bacteria. Sure, we haven't got them all, there's always more to come. This is because we understand evolution. All of biology depends on understanding evolution. And you guys would like, you know who you are? I'd like to say that evolution is not a thing that happens. When most of you are out there depending on medications invented by scientists, engineered by pharmaceutical companies. Many of you are being kept alive by those drugs that wouldn't exist if we didn't understand evolution. So if you could have conspiracy theorists trying to eliminate pasteurization and return us to the miasma theory of disease, eliminating the education department, when education is the number one thing that strengthens us against misinformation, conspiracy theories, ridiculous ideas that just make society worse. Sure, go ahead and let Trump fly the Qatari airplane as Air Force One. I wouldn't recommend it. Hell, I'd hate to be the place where the plane crashes. Could land on my house as far as I know. There's a bigger chance of that plane landing on my house than a meteoroid falling through my bed pillow. But go ahead. You think we're going to be sure there's no back doors on that plane when they're done putting it back together? I guess none of you know how complicated Boeing flight systems are. There are literally thousands of devices on that plane that make the instruments function, the engines run, the control surfaces work. All that stuff involves a lot of complicated electronics with literally thousands of devices and miles of wire. And you're going to trust a plane that came from Qatar with the security of the President of the United States and the security of all the operations that the President gets to talk about while he's on board that plane. Every military operation, the movement of troops, the movement of the government officials themselves, all surveilled by some power in the Middle East, whether it's Qatar itself or man-in-the-middle attack. I mean, hell, for all I know, all of my devices are infected by Chinese man-in-the-middle attacks. I don't know. But you're sure as hell not going to allow that to elude the U.S. military for Air Force One, are you? I mean, it's one thing to be pissed off about Trump accepting a $400 million gift from the Qatari government. This goes way, way deeper than that. You're talking about the whole security of the United States depending upon some surveillance devices from another government not being present on Air Force One. And if you considered the possibility that this airplane never gets converted into Air Force One, but that Trump accepts the gift into his presidential library, and then after he is no longer president, he uses that plane. I'm sure you guys know that all former presidents are protected by Secret Service members. Who are part of the security of the United States. That means you're putting security agents and a former president on board an airplane that came from the Qatari government. It doesn't matter whether this plane becomes Air Force One or not. If this plane is allowed to be used by Donald Trump after his presidency, you have no idea whether the former President Trump is being surveilled by the Qatari government or a man in the middle. Could be anybody. Could be China, could be Iran, could be Jordan, Syria, Saudi Arabia, North Korea. You don't know who's going to be a man in the middle. How about Hamas? I'm sure Hamas would love to be the man in the middle surveilling Trump or the former President Trump. We had some airplanes flown into the World Trade Center a few years back. Maybe you guys heard of it. Sure, let's have another plane susceptible to the same action. Except now, you don't even need a pilot. Now you've got a bomb that can be flown by a computer at the command of some foreign agent or even domestic agent who has been radicalized, in control of an airplane. You have no idea whether it is vulnerable or not. Where will it land? Whose building will it be flown into this time? If the government of the United States is listening to this video, y'all need to pay attention right now. Do not allow this plane to be flown by any officers of the United States. Because if you do, you're responsible for the breaking of the security of the United States. There's nothing less than treason. Don't fucking do it.